welcome back to the Roundabout podcast, where we'll be talking about part 3 of JoJo, aka Stardust Crusaders. As always, I'm your host, Evan.
I'm Josue.
I'm Jose.
So, part 3, probably the biggest part of JoJo, by far the most popular.
Yup.
The
And
intro to stands.
yes, that's what I was about to say.
Like, part 3 is, like, especially in Japan, the biggest. Like, the main character of part 3, Jotaro Kujo, and Dio especially, hey, spoiler alert, Dio's back.
Oh, no.
And it's by far the most popular with the most merchandise and representation outside of the anime and manga.
Yeah,
Really?
that's because everyone loves the edgy JoJo.
He's an edgy bad boy, but he's got a heart of gold.
He does.
He does, just like John.
That's why the people like him. They're like, oh, he's so different from everyone else, but he's still a good guy.
And he's the JoJo you're going to see the most of.
Yeah, he's in 3 parts.
Is he now?
Well, he's in part 3, part 4.
Oh, he's in part 5 too.
He makes a cameo in part 5.
That's right. That makes 4 parts.
Part 6. And if you count the alternate universe counterpart, he's also in that.
Oh my.
But the story starts with Dio, who somehow managed to survive that little explosion back in part 1.
After
Rocky
100
forgot.
years.
Araki forgot. We're going to say that a lot.
Yup.
So somehow there was a second coffin, or maybe he
Somehow.
hid under the coffin Arena was on. I don't know.
No, you don't understand. Arena's stand was a coffin all along, and that's how Dio escaped.
Really now?
No.
No. Oh no. Speaking of arenas, speaking of stands, Jotaro's mom, Holly Joestar, a sweet mom, gets a stand, but it's kind of killing her.
Yup.
Yeah, she's too gentle to control it, so it's gonna take JoJo and the gang 50 days before she dies.
Mm-hmm.
And you could blame Dio for that one because Dio took Jonathan's body, which really adds to the tragedy of part 1.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just delayed the inevitable.
I think it's safe to assume that everything after part 2 is just Dio's fault.
It's always Dio's fault.
Well, it's always it was always Cars. I mean, Cars is the one that did make the stone mask, so he's
So it's Cars' fault.
But it's Dio's fault for pursuing it.
well, yeah, but true. But Dio's back this time. He's got a stand, and it is one of the most overpowered stands. Because guess what it can do? Stop time.
Oh, scary.
Well, yeah, he's only got like a few seconds, but the damage he could do in those few seconds is pretty good.
Pretty
Yeah.
terrifying.
Time means nothing in the JoJo universe.
Yeah,
They'll
like-
say, my ability lasts 5 seconds, but it'll last a good 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, that's a trope in anime. Remember Frieza?
Ah, yeah.
This
Oh.
planet will blow up in 5 minutes. Yeah, 30 episodes later.
Tick tock, tick tock.
But because of that whole Dio getting a stand, now everyone in the Joestar family, well, by blood, has a stand.
By blood. Because of Dio, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
because it traveled down the bloodline.
So now everyone you know and love has one. And by everyone, I mean Joseph.
Yeah, well, Joseph got his stand beforehand.
I thought he got it because of Dio stuff.
No, we had it for a couple of years, and depending on who you asked, he always had it. Because Araki did say that if the part 3 gang traveled back to part 2, they would see that Joseph had Hermit Purple.
Huh. I never thought of it like that.
Wow.
But really, that depends on who you ask. But yeah, Joseph has a stand, and Jotaro, our main character for the part, he's got Star Platinum, which is a
Another overpowered stand.
it's a
Very.
stand that could pull techniques out of just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It could extend its fingers. It's got super breath, and plus later, during the fight with Dio, Star Platinum could stop time
Yup.
because
wow.
they have the same type of stand.
Don't you hate it when you make a villain so powerful you have to give him the same ability to the hero?
I mean, it is cool when Jotaro stops time and Dio's just like, "Wait, what happened?"
Yeah.
That's
I remember I saw it, I was like, oh my god. Whoa.
And when we get our introduction with Jotaro,
Prison cell.
well, prison cell. He's in a prison. And the first thing we hear coming out of his mouth is
Shut up! Get out of my face, you bitch!
Yep.
to his mom.
Such a good character.
But the thing is, his mom still pampers him.
Oh yeah, yeah.
His mom's a sweetheart, dude.
His mom's a sweet. She's
Too
the,
much of a sweetheart.
Oh, she's the best mom. And
Hashtag best mom.
and plus with Jotaro's dad being a traveling musician
Yep, he's a jazzman.
who we never see.
Nope.
We never see his face. Not even a picture.
I think I did see a picture, right?
I
don't know
know.
if it showed his face.
I don't
but-
recall showing a picture, but if it did, if there was a picture, it never showed his face. Because I have not seen like one picture of his face. So while Jotaro's on a mission and Holly's dying, his dad is just playing the sax.
Yeah, dude, jazz for the soul.
Jazz for the soul and mind.
Jazz for the soul. But Jotaro, he's in that prison cell for one reason. He doesn't want to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So he's just
did
hanging
it
out in
for
that
his own
prison.
good.
He's doing it for his own good.
Yes.
Yeah, because didn't he like beat like some people up?
Yeah. I mean, Jotaro is, for the people who don't know, is practically every action movie, mostly Clint Eastwood stereotype you could think of. Well, let's see. He calls women bitches. He beats up teachers. He goes to restaurants and doesn't pay for it if he thinks the food isn't good enough.
Oh, don't lie.
He's the most badass guy ever.
He is.
And even
He's,
Clint Eastwood thinks he's cool.
Does
Is
he?
every boy's
Yeah, like
know
there's
that.
Clint Eastwood knows about Jotaro.
Whoa.
And plus Jotaro's iconic pointing pose comes straight from Clint Eastwood in Dirty Harry.
I did not know that. When are we gonna get a Clint Eastwood stand? His name's. I was say they made a song about him.
Hey,
Jotaro.
that'd be cool. Jotaro versus his hero Clint Eastwood.
That'd be
Oh
so
my.
cool.
You know, Jotaro is every edgy boy's fantasy.
Yeah, he wears black and he wears a hat that's kind of fused to his hair.
I'm sorry, it's dark blue.
Well, depending on which, you could either go dark blue or black, depending on
It
like
looks black.
it's black.
It's dark blue with some pink on the belt.
and,
my.
and he wears like 2 belts on it.
Yeah.
Two belts.
And 2 cool belts. And a hat, and he's got a hat that defies physics that's kind of
Yep.
fused
Yep.
to his hair.
Yep.
Can we talk about how there's a picture in the anime where his hat is perfectly normal, not fused with his hair, but as soon as like he's this age, it just fused.
It's weird.
Is that like a secret ability of Star Platinums, or
I don't
did
know.
that just happen naturally? Is that part of puberty? Because I never got that.
You know, I want
No,
to say,
no,
I want to
it's-
say that's his own little magic trick.
And speaking of puberty, it really hit Jotaro hard because when we see pictures
Oh,
of him
yeah.
as a kid, he's like super scrawny. Then in like a year, he's like super buff. And keep in mind, he's 17.
He is.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
17, and you look at him, what the hell happened to him?
That's
All
the
the
Joestar
chicks.
effect, man.
It's the Joestar bloodline going through his veins.
Yep.
But Jotaro, Joseph, and newcomer Avdol,
Oh, Muhammad Abdul.
Muhammad Avdol,
Yes.
and Kakyoin, a new ally that Jotaro gets. Well, because Kakyoin was kind of working for Dio at the time, then Jotaro beat him up, took out the thing that was controlling him,
Yeah, because he had a
Oh, yeah.
brain parasite. Yeah.
made from Dio's cells, which
Oh.
is another thing you could add to Dio's list of powers.
Yeah, Dio has just a ton of powers that are super useful that he never uses.
Yeah.
Endless lists, and he claims to be the most powerful boy, yet he gets beaten up.
Well, Dio's got a bit of a god complex in part 3. Like, he believes that he can beat anyone just with his stand, so he kind of wants to prove himself with that.
Considering he could stop time, honestly, if I could stop time, I'd think I could beat anyone too.
I mean, honestly,
yeah.
if Dio used his vampire abilities along with Time Stop, he'd be pretty much unbeatable.
But he never does he?
He never does. I mean, he doesn't shoot the lasers at any point. He doesn't freeze anybody. Like, the only vampire ability he really uses is regeneration.
That's kind of dumb.
But it's...
Considering the damage that he did to Jonathan.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. But Jotaro and the gang are off to save Holly. They gotta get to Cairo, Egypt within 50 days, or Holly dies. Because her
Yep.
stand is literally killing her.
Yep, she's not
To the
mentally
core.
strong enough to actually handle it.
Which you can kind of call bullshit with later parts because a rat can have a stand. And even in the same part, a dog and a orangutan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the dog later on, that would be in part 2, but that's for another
Well, part
time.
3.
Part 3?
Part 3, yeah. Iggy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Iggy.
Iggy and
best
the
dog.
Fool.
The best dog in anime.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember.
I love Iggy so much.
And along the way, Jotaro gets a Frenchman named Polnareff, the best character in
Oh,
part
yeah.
3, and a dog
Wolf.
named Iggy,
Wolf.
who only participates in 2 fights.
But he does it well.
He does it well.
That's because that dog's TLP.
Not really. That stand.
really.
That no. That stand. His stand is pretty weak, actually.
Yeah,
Oh.
all things considered, yeah.
So we got a cast that's rather versatile,
Mm-hmm.
except Kakyoin, because Kakyoin's stand kind of sucks.
What are you talking about, dude?
The
No one
one-
can reflect the Emerald Splash.
Yeah, the one thing you're gonna hear from
man.
Kakyoin all the time is,
No one can just deflect the Emerald Splash!
"Hey, guess what?"
Everyone can reflect it.
Everyone
Well,
deflects.
to be fair to him, only like 2 or 3 people deflect it. Everybody else just dodges it. So he's not completely wrong, but
But
he's
he's not.
wrong.
But he's not right either.
I don't think he even gets 1 hit with Emerald Splash.
I think it like scratches Jotaro, maybe.
Yeah.
No, it hit
and then he-
Jotaro before.
And
last
then
time
he
I checked.
deflects it.
Yeah, he deflects it. Well, his stand deflects it.
Yeah. Which goes to show how useful Kakyoin is. But the cast of part 3, their stands are like pretty weak compared to Jotaro's, because Jotaro participates in the most fights. Like
Yeah.
Jotaro pulls shit out of his ass just to be cool.
I would say like
Kind of.
say a majority of those fights too, like the other guys would probably start it, but Jotaro will end up winning it.
Yeah,
Yep.
which disappoints me because I would have liked to have seen more individual fights with the Stardust Crusaders.
Mm-hmm.
Like especially Polnareff, because Polnareff's got. I like Polnareff. Polnareff is the goofy comic relief character.
Yeah, and then his stand has like the little shed armor thing that makes it like 10 times faster that he only uses like twice.
Oh wow.
Well, granted, it does make his defense like super terrible, so I can understand why you wouldn't use it.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of characters, Part 3 has by far the largest cast, and I would say as individuals, they're not all that interesting, but as a group, like when they're together, they're super cool. Like we
Yeah.
got a bunch of cool little moments between them. Like
Yep.
Polnareff and Kakyoin's secret handshake. Polnareff and Abdal's bonding over pissing on a stand user.
Like they really are all cool all
Like-
together.
Like all together, I would. It's like a road trip movie. Like
yeah.
part 3 for me is is one giant road trip movie, just with a bunch of enemy stand users.
Oh boy. You know, one of my favorite enemy stand users was actually the gorilla. Well,
Strength?
the orangutan.
The rapey gorilla.
Oh,
yeah, the gorilla orangutan. I'm pretty sure it was orangutan.
It was an orangutan.
Yeah, the strength.
And he's creeping on little girls.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Which by the way I did not know until later on in that episode.
And then when you saw it, you were just like, oh no.
I was like, no, I just thought it was a high pitched kid voice. You know, like how usually when VAs voice children, it's like more high pitched.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, it's just another high pitched kid.
There's a difference between females and boys, though.
Yeah.
I generally cannot tell the difference though.
Hey, did you know Ash Ketchum's a girl?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that. Both
But-
their VAs in the dub and anime were voiced by a woman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the part 3 is really distinctive when it comes to stands because, like, the stands for part 3 are pretty much named after. Well, for the first half, they're named after tarot cards,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
which is why Star Platinum is called Star Platinum, and the Fool is called the Fool, and for the second half, they're named after some Egyptian gods. You know, you got like Thoth, Ra, Anubis.
Cream.
Okay, well he's a standout. He's like the only stand named after an actual musician.
I know. But in my heart, that's the Egyptian god.
Cream.
Cream, the almighty.
Almighty cream.
But you can really feel when it comes to stands that Araki is had some troubles with them because he was, this is the introduction to stands, so he's kind of trying to get his footing in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the stands are like super simple, I would say. Magician's Red just shoots fire. Thoth predicts the future. Star Platinum just punches real fast and hard.
Yeah, I mean...
Plus, very precise too, and that drawing though,
Yeah.
a very fast drawing.
I mean, there's not this. I mean, there's still plenty of interesting stand fights. The Oingo Boingo Brothers fight.
Yeah, I wanted to mention Oingo Boingo.
The best characters by far.
Of course, dude.
And the great thing about them is that the cast of Stardust Crusaders, they did not even know they were in a fight the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time they appeared, they did not know.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oingo
my.
Boingo and then Whole Horse are probably my favorites.
Like, Whole Horse is the one enemy stand user you're going to see the most of. And he was originally supposed to be a member of the cast.
Oh, what happened?
Well, he's a cowboy.
And he's wanted, dead or alive.
Oh,
So he was supposed to replace Avdol after Avdol died, quote unquote.
quote unquote.
Quote unquote. But Avdol came back, don't worry.
Ooh.
Yeah, he just took a bullet to the head, so he's fine.
It grazed him. And he
Yeah.
also got stabbed.
Yeah.
It grazed him, he's fine. He was supposed to replace Avdol, but Araki didn't want to get rid of the whole lone cowboy dynamic that he had with Horse.
And I'm glad he didn't. Whole
Nah.
Horse works great as just like his own thing.
He works great as a side villain. He's a great comedy, and especially when he's with Boingo. and Whole Horse is surprisingly a ladies' man. He doesn't hit them, and plus he's got ladies around the world apparently.
So does Jotaro. I mean, even when he's being a dick,
Well-
he still
well,
has the
Jo-
woman, and those somehow the women are even more in awe when
Try
he calls
to,
when he calls them annoying.
Yeah, but Whole Horse, like, you wanna know why he's got women like around the world? It's so he could have like a backup plan in case things go sour.
Oh my
Let's
god.
say, you said Whole Horse never hits women. He drop kicks some lady.
I blame Boingo for that. I blame Fate for that. Fate was the blame, not Whole Horse.
Oh boy.
God,
And plus he saved her.
I mean, yeah. But he still
So-
drop kicked her.
But he saved her. Ergo,
Such a gentleman.
Whole Horse is the most. Whole Horse is the true hero.
Looks like we got a Whole Horse sympathizer here.
Oh my.
Hey,
Go whole
Hey,
horse
hey,
sympathizer.
hey,
we
look.
got a Dio.
hey, look.
Dio like
Whole Horse did it for the money.
That's fair enough. I would have done it too.
He did it for the money.
whole horse did nothing wrong.
No, he did plenty of wrong. I just support him.
So what? So you support his wrongdoing then?
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
Hey, look, he tried to kill Dio. That's a one up on my book.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And plus with him, we got the team. We got to team up with Boingo. Come on.
Yeah.
So that makes it real good.
Mm-hmm.
But the stand fights are pretty great. If
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
if simple and saved by Jotaro all the time.
I would say the one stand fight I do like that doesn't involve Jotaro is Pet Shop vs. Iggy.
Oh, that is really great. And plus, it's the only fight that Iggy participates in
Mhm.
by himself.
Ooh.
And can we talk about Pet Shop? Pet Shop
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a terrifying bird.
Okay, this is what I want to know. Did Dio see him in a pet shop and name him after that, or did he just get the name Pet Shop from something else?
Now, I'm more curious about the hat Pet Shop wears. Like, did he already have that, or did Dio make it and put it on him?
I'd assume it's like one of the little like falcon hats they put on, like what are they called?
Like falcons.
Yeah, well, I mean, falcon hats for a falcon, of course.
Yeah.
But it's a specific like special.
I mean, I don't know the name for it. I just call it a falcon.
Yeah, it's like the messenger pigeons with falcons.
Yeah, but do you think? But do you think Dio just went to a pet shop, saw Pet Shop, and was like, "Man, that's one cool bird."
Maybe it wasn't Dio. Maybe it was Inyaba.
You know, this begs the
No,
bigger
but-
question: did Dio get a flashback of the dog that he kicked?
Don't do that.
I mean, there's plenty of dog abuse in part 3,
I
so
know. I hope you like mush puppies.
I mean, Dio was probably watching from his window the Iggy fight and was like, "Yeah, kill that dog.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, good job.
You're my favorite bird." And then Pet Shop died.
Yeah, poor Pet Shop, but he
No,
deserved it.
No, he deserved it. Don't be a Pet Shop
No
sympathizer.
way.
He murdered 2 dogs.
I just thought he was really cool.
I mean, especially since Pet Shop doesn't talk, he just grins at you.
Yeah,
Oh man.
he's so threatening.
He somehow smiles evilly without
like-
lips.
So like the grin pierces through one's eyes, and you get that chill effect.
He's ice cold,
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna say funny you say chill because his ability is ice.
Ooh.
and he knows how to use it.
Very.
And we also got like the Darby fights.
Oh, I like older Darby better than younger Darby.
Oh yeah,
I'll
yeah,
say
yeah,
that now.
Yeah. Like the Darby fights are pretty much just gambling the stand fight, and it's super unique and super cool.
Yeah. Just because you see how cool Jotaro is
Yeah.
for bluffing, even though his hand was absolute crap.
And he drove Darby insane.
Yeah, just
Like Darby got white hair. Like he aged like super fast.
it was just pretty much like pure stress in that
It's
fight.
stress hair.
Oh yeah, that ain't stress hair. That's a stress that's stress beard, man.
Yeah.
So, what are your final thoughts on Stardust Crusaders?
I'm gonna say like how I said in part 1, where it's kind of a good introduction to stands.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, they are really simple, but onward they get super unique and super cool.
Yeah, they do.
And then Jotaro makes comebacks a few times, so
And he gets more character.
yeah, he does.
So far, I'm actually in episode 8. Like, I just started watching it, and I'm planning to watch even more of it once I get home.
And
But
even-
Joseph's still my favorite JoJo, but Jotaro, like, so far, his character development really shows. Like, one moment, you see he's just a stuck-up prick, but in another scene, you see him being the most caring person in the world.
Yeah.
So I find that unique.
And plus, one thing about Jotaro throughout the series is that he gets thinner and thinner with every time he shows up.
Yeah, dude, he doesn't work out as much. He has dolphins to watch.
Oh my.
Yeah, and that's actually canon. He becomes a marine biologist after part 3.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You look at a picture of that man and tell me he's a marine biologist.
Hey, man, I don't judge a book by its cover.
Look, he looks more likely to punch a dolphin than hug a dolphin.
Oh my.
Man, when we get to part 4, so many jokes about
Oh,
Ocean Man.
No, part 4 is gonna be a good time. We're gonna be punching spaghetti.
Ocean Man, take him by the hand.
But next time on the Roundabout, we're gonna do part 4. Diamond is unbreakable. Diamond is not Crash, depending on how you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be following the next JoJo, Josuke Hikashikatada, aka Joseph's illegitimate son.
Oh
And where's
my.
JoJo?
And- oh, that hurts right here.
The worst JoJo. I'm looking forward to see why.
It's mainly just because the side character is way better than him.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it doesn't make him worse. But until next time, I'm your host, Evan.
That's why.
I'm Jose.
See you next time on the Roundabout.
Bye.
Bye.
Arrivederci.